Brother Abe is. See, we've been waiting for you, brother. Good to see you, young lady. Why, you. See if I can see. The other day I went down and had an eye test, and my eyes are better than they've ever been in my life for a far distance. But up close I can't see anything. And the doctor asked me how I was feeling, and I showed him the results from the deal. He said, all right, took the test. He said, well, you've got a new prescription. But he said, I don't think we ought to fill it yet, see if you're going to live. And he was dead serious. I said, well, I'm going to live dangerously. Just go ahead and fill it anyway. He said, you may not be alive long enough to pick him up. I said, well, we'll see. Maybe I will. I don't know. Why, you, Benay, Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Sepho, Wigatam, Kenaz. And they became sons of Eliphaz. Eliphaz, does anyone remember what Eliphaz means? All right. Sharon, I know you never forget anything.
No, I forget. I just usually write it down.
Yeah. Eliphaz. That means God is the discerner. God is the discerner. All right. El, there's that rascal again. Eliphaz, and then Teman. Teman means sunburnt, or south wind, the hot winds. Okay. And then Omar. Omar means mountaineer. And then Zepho. Remember one of the Marx brothers was Zepho? Remember Zepho? Well, that's the same word right here. Zepho means to watch. And Gotham. Gotham means burnt valley. And Kenaz, which means side or flank. 36 and verse 12 now. 36 and verse 12. And as you can look through here, this is the foundation of all these people. We Timnah, Hayatah, Philagesh, Li Eliphaz, Ben Esau, Wataled, Li Eliphaz, Et, Hamalek, Eleh, Benay, Adah, Esheth, Esau. All right. Brother Abe, my wife brought all kinds of goodies up there if you want some of that. You might be interested in some of that. All kinds of little things. And Timnah. Timnah means to control or restrain. Being, or actually becoming, a concubine. A concubine to Eliphaz. And that's Eliphaz means God is a discerner or dispenser. Son of Esau. And she birthed and basically brought forth a live birth to Eliphaz. Amalek. All right. Amalek means a warlike dweller in the valley. These are the Amalekites. Remember the Amalekites. That would become later on. And that LA, which means these. Sons. What does the word son mean? According to a pattern. Thank you, young lady. You got A+ tonight, twice. Of Adah. Adah means what? Adah means what? Adah. Pleasure, beauty. Adah, pleasure and beauty. And then Isheth, wife of Esau. All right. 36 and verse 13 now. We'eleh, Benay, Ruel, Nachath, Zerah, that is, Shammah, Umizah, Eleh, Hayu, Benay, Basemath, Eshet, Esau. And these We'ele, sons, Benai, according to a pattern, of course, Ruel. Now what other, Ruel means God is friend, by the way, God is friend. What other man in the Bible later on would be, had one of his names, I think he had about 5 different names. What was his name? Who was this guy in the Bible? Is Moses' father-in-law. He was also the man that was ingenious to draw out the plans of the Sanhedrin court way before it ever was. All right? And that's Ruel. And then Nahath. Nahath means lowness. And then Zerah, which means to sprout or sprouting or seeding or sowing. Shema, which means name or monument. And Mizah, which means terror or joy. Terror or joy. Terror and joy does what to you? What does joy and terror do to you? What is it? It raises your heartbeat. It causes adrenaline to flow. And that's what it means, to cause adrenaline to flow. That's what this word means. All right? Mizah, to cause adrenaline to flow. And these became sons of base math. Do you remember what base math means? Base math. Chris, you remember what that means? Brother Roger, base math. Brother Abe, you know what base math means? Pam? All right. Young lady, are you going to be the savior of the night? Base math. How about you, Brother Euless? Brother Mike? Sharon? Huh? It means fragrant, good smelling. Remember, fragrant. She smelled good. All right, she smelled good. Base math smelled good. A wife of Esau. Wife of old Harry. Esau. We'ele. Hayu. Benai. Aholabamah. And then Vath. Anah. Vath. Savon. Esheth. Esau. Wataled. Li Esau. Et. Yosh. Weet. Yolam. Weet. Korah. And these they became. They had become, actually. They had become sons of Oholibamah. Who remembers what Oholibamah means? Oholibamah. Oholibamah. What's that, young lady, Sharon? It means, the root of it is tent. It means the tent of the high place. All right? Tent of the high place. Or to move a tent around. But this has the idea of the idol worshippers that were up on the top of the mountains, and they took a tabernacle up there, and they tented up there, or they tabernacled with the idols or the spirits. All right, tent of the high place. A daughter of Anah. Anah. This word Anah means, it really means to answer. It means affliction. It means humble. It means to sing and chant. Anah. And what it means is to sing sad stories. To sing sad stories. Sound like the first country and western singer, doesn't it? Here is the first country and western star, the one that sang sad stories. All right. Daughter of Zibeon. Zibeon now. This guy is quite a guy, Zibeon. Now, what? Today, he would be a wild robber, an outlaw. That's what his name means, outlaw. A wife of Esau, and she birthed to Esau Et Yeush. And that means he comes for help, or comes to help. And Jolam means to It means to be secret or to hide. Okay? And Korah. And Korah means bald-headed. Bald-headed. Bald or bald-headed. There was a Korah in the Bible later on, wasn't it? Later on in the rebellion of Korah, when Moses had trouble with a guy or family named Korah. 36 and verse 15 now. 36 and verse 15. Young lady, you like that donut? That's pretty good, isn't it? You eat some of that for me? I haven't eaten a donut for 30 years. I remember the first time I ever had a donut in my life. My grandmother married an Italian guy. She was a Chickasaw and Indian, and Chickasaw, Ojibwe, and Santee, Dakota. And anyway, she married this Italian guy. And he was a chef down at the Universal Hotel down next to Pyrenees Bakery. And I went down there and I helped him cook in that restaurant. And he'd send me over there to Pyrenees Bakery, and he said, Jimmy, go over there and tell them to give you all assortment of donuts and bring them in for all these people to come in. And he said, get some for yourself too. And I'd get this French bread and everything every day. And that's the first time I ever had a donut. Didn't know. Oh, I thought I was in heaven when I ate one of those. That was really good. Boy, I had jelly-filled donuts and all kinds of donuts, maple sticks, all of that stuff. Ele, Alufe, Bene, Esau, Bene, Eliphaz, Bechor, Esau, Aluf, Teman, Aluf, Omar, Aluf, Sepho, Aluf, Kenaz. These princes, aloof there. These are princes. These are like kings. These are potentates now, okay? These are all became kings. These is what we call the ancient Arab seers. All right, seers, or these are the ones, the leaders of the tribes. These are the heads of these tribes. Trying to think of it right now. There was an ancient deal called about not the knights, but I can't think of it right now. These are the people that were the robbers and the highwaymen of the desert. These were the outlaws of the desert. Alibaba and his 40 thieves. Thank you, brother. Alibaba and his 40 thieves. This is what it's talking about. These are the kind of people. They carried those crooked knives, you know, those Damascus steel knives, and they would cut up and get all this together and beat up on each other. They were a lot of these little sheiks. A lot of these little sheiks. And basically the Middle East is still made up of these tribes of these sheiks over there, still. And they're very rich families, and there's a patriarch in each family. Okay? Now this is what the foundation of all that is. This goes all the way. That over there comes right back here. This is where it all began. These are all sheiks. Alibaba and his 40 thieves. Princes, sons of Esau, sons of Eliphaz, which means God is dispenser, firstborn. And what does a Bechor mean? What does that mean? Bokor? That means to break forth. This here is the one that broke forth the womb. The first one to break forth the womb. Okay? Of Esau, and then prince, or potentate, or chief, sheik. Sheik. You want to write down sheik there also. Sheik of Teman. Teman means sunburnt. Like the south wind blows and burns. Like the Santa Anas down that come through here, the hot winds that blow so hard. Prince or Sheik Omar. Omar means mountain here. And then Prince Zepho, which means the watch. Prince Kenaz or Sheik Kenaz, which means flank or side. 36:16 now. We're moving along. Aluf, Korah, Aluf, Gatam, Aluf, Amalek, Ele, Aluthe, Eliphaz, Baaretz, Edom, Ele, Bene, Adah. Here we have this sheik again, Sheik Korah, which means baldness, and then sheik or chief Gotham. Gotham means the burnt valley again. And then Prince Amalek, and that's the warlike dweller in the valleys, or the warlike dweller of the vale. And the sheik Eliphaz, God is dispenser, in land of Edom. Land of Edom. Edom means what? Red. Okay. And these sons of Adah, and Adah means what? Pleasure. Pleasure. 36:17a. Wealeh, Benay, Ruel, Ben, Esau, Aluf, Nashath, Aluf, Zerah, Aluf, Shammah, Aluf, Mizah, Ele, Aluthe, Ruel, Baaretz, Edom, Elah, Benay, Basemath, Isheth, Esau. And these sons of Ruel. Ruel means what? Ruel means what? God is friend. Or God watches after. Okay? A son of Esau, Sheik or prince, Nahath, which means lowness. By the way, Nahath was born about 1700 BC, somewhere around there. And Prince Zerah. Remember what was going on over here in America at this time, wasn't it? They were great, populous. This land was a thriving metropolis from North to South America, 150 million people. The most populous place in the world was here in the Americas. While they were going on, this is what's being founded on over there in the Middle East. This is the foundation of it, and this here in this country was already there. And these were the Hamites over here, and of course these are the Shemites. These are Shemites anyway. They call it Semitic religions. They don't pronounce the sh. They just say Semitic religion. These are Semites. There are two Semitic religions, aren't there? What are they? What are the two Semitic religions? Two Semitic religions.
Is it one Jewish?
Jewish is one of them, and what's the other one?
Muslim.
The Muslim and Jewish. All right, or the Muslim or Israeli. Okay? Well, that's what we call, Judaism. But we don't have the law. But we got the promise of the law. We got the fulfillment of the law. Yeah. We got the Hekine Diatheke, the New Testament. They got the old, we got the new. They got the promise, we got the fulfillment. Simple as that. Shammah means fame or renown. A prince of Mizah. Mizah, remember what Mizah meant? The adrenaline flows. Pleasure or joy. These princes, Ruel. Ruel, God is friend. In land, Baaretz, in land of Eden, these are sons of Basemath, which means fragrant, wife of Esau. By the way, this last week, I brought volume number 5 of the book of Genesis here and started copying it. I did 1/2 of it. I'm going to try to finish it tomorrow. I don't know why I'll live to teach it all, but I got it. It's written. It's done. We'ele, Benay, Ahalabamah, Esheth, Esau, Aluf, Yeush, Aluf, Yolam, Aluf, Korah, Ele, Aluphe, Ahalabamah, Bath, Anna, Esheth, Esau. And these the sons of Oholibamah, and that's the tent of the high place, remember. My tent in her is what it literally means. Wife there is Sheth. It comes from Isha, which means what? Ish is man. Isha is out of man. Okay? Wife of Esau, old Harry. Prince, or what else would it be? Sheik. Sheik. Jayush. Jayush is a collector. That means collector. One who collects. And then Sheik. Jolam. Jolam means exalted or elevated. And then Sheik, or chief, or prince or king, Baldness, old Baldy, Korah. About 1780 BC. These, the Sheiks, O Halabamah, the tent of the high place, my tent in her. Bath, the daughter of Anah, answering. Anah. Remember what that means? That's the first country and western singer. The one who sings and moans and groans and chants. All right? A humble chant. Wife of Esau. My grandmother was the most talented musician that I ever saw. She could hear a song on the radio and she could play it on any instrument without ever having learned how to play the instrument. She had an older sister, Clara, that her father, my great grandfather, was very musically inclined, and he wanted his daughter, Clara, to learn how to play the piano. So they got a piano, rented it or whatever. It was an upright piano. And he brought it into the house, and they had piano lessons for Clara. My grandmother was basically, they called her the family slave. She just worked like a slave all the time. She kept house for her mother. She cooked all the meals, everything, waited on all of her brothers and sisters and everything. And she would sit back in the corner while she was working and cooking and watch her play the piano. One day she asked her mother, she said, Mama, can I play the piano? Oh, she said, that's Clara's. Well, Clara wasn't doing so well with the piano business. My grandmother went down there and sat at that piano, and she rolled those ivories and sung out every song that you could think of. They got her playing for the silent movie theaters. Never had a lesson. Sat down and played that thing, just like that. Sat down and played. To sing. Anah, all right? To sing forth. And these sons of Esau, and these, they're sheiks, and he, Edom, red. All right. They called old Esau red. Why did they call Esau red? When did he get the name red? Well, he was red-headed probably. All right, but what else? When did he get the name red? Remember, what event in his life got him the name red? That's right, young lady. You got an A+ tonight. When he asked for that red lentil stew that Jacob was brewing. The cheapest commodity in the land of Palestine, and he was going to trade his eternal birthright. I mean eternal birthright. It would pass on to his children, and he traded that birthright for one single meal. And because of that, God said, I hate Esau. I hate Esau. Jacob I loved, and Esau I hated, because that man was a man of the hour. He didn't think beyond the moment. 36 and verse 20. Ele b'nei Seir Hachari Yoshevi Haaretz Lotan Wish Shavol We Sivon We Anah. By the way, all of these ands, this an on the end of this neen on the end of all of these, it is an ending for the Horites. This is the language that they spoke. This is how they ended all of their names. All of their names end with a nu. Otherwise, it would be a ah on the end of it. But this is a Horite ending. Okay. These sons of Seir, and then remember what the word Seir means? What's the word Seir? Remember what that means? What? Rough wooded. It means a mountainous, it also means goat. The place where goats live. Maryland. You didn't do anything now. I'm just going to ask you a question. She's usually in trouble over there, and when I call her name, she's, oh, I didn't mean it. I'm just this business or something else. I didn't. Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
All right. Your family got some miniature goats one time.
Yeah.
What did those goats do?
They were on top of the car.
They climbed everything. Now, goats love to climb. Mountain sheep and mountain goats love to climb, and that's what that means. This is a place of the mountain goats. Okay? That's what Seir means, the place of the mountain goats. The Horite, and this word mountain. Hor is the word for mountain. All right? Horos in Greek and Hor in Hebrew. Okay? That means mountain. Dwelling in, and this is a masculine plural cal participle, dwelling in the land. Lotan. Lotan is where we get the same word. It means dark colored. It means concealed. And it means hidden or secret. Secret. Okay, Lotan. That's where the name Lot comes from. Lot. But see, it's Lotan, so you end it with a what? A mean. All right? Because this is a Horite word. And Shobal. Shobal means wandering. Wandering. By the way, Lotan was born about 1800 BC, and Shobal about 1820, somewhere around there. And then Zibion, which means wild robber, an outlaw, about 1800 BC. And Anah, which means what? That's a country and western singer. That's the one to moan out and to sing or to answer. We Dishon. 36:21. We Dishon. We Etzer. We Dishon. Ele. Alufe. Hachori. Bene. Seir. Be'eretz. Edom. And Dishon, which means leaping. Leaping. Leaping like a goat or a sheep or a deer. Leaping. And Ezer means union. By the way, both of them born about 1780 BC, according to some chronologies. And Dishon, leaping. These sheiks of the Horites. And the Horites, of course, the root of that means mountain, but it means to be free in the mountains. Free or noble. Free in the mountains. Sons of Seir, which means the rough wooded area, the wilds, in the land of Edom. In the land of Edom. 36:22. Wayehu, Bene, Lotan, Hori, Wa Haman, Wa Achot, Lotan, Timnah. And they became sons of Lotan. Lotan means what? What does Lotan mean? Concealed or dark or secret. That's what Lot's name meant. I'll tell you one thing, he sure secreted himself among those Sodomites, didn't he? They didn't know he was a Christian at all. Even his future sons-in-law didn't know he was a Christian. But it'd be a sad story, wouldn't it? Somebody going with your daughters and they didn't even know you were a Christian? Didn't even know that he was a believer in Jehovah God? They laughed at him when he said God was going to bring judgment. All right, Hori, free or noble. This was about 1780 BC. And Hemam means raging. Heman, raging. And sister of Lotan, Timnah. That means restraining. The concubine of Eliphaz. All right. And by the way, all of those page numbers down there go into Brown, Driver, and Briggs, right here. And you can look them up and you can see the root for yourselves. Some words have a questional or what they say unknown, meaning unknown. I'm just giving you the best I can do. And I chased rabbits for these words. I'm going to tell you something. Chased rabbits. 36:23. We'ele, Bene, Shobal, Alvin, Umanachat, We'ebal, Shepho, we Onan. And these sons of Shobal. Shobal means wandering, born about 17 or 1820 BC. And then Alvin. Alvin means sublime. Sublime. And then Manahath. Manahath means resting place. About 1760 BC again. And then Ebal. Ebal means bear. 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 These are all Horites, remember. And look at their names. You can tell a lot of the endings of their names. You will see a lot of them are ended with neens or ans. And Shepho, which means unconcerned, about 1740 BC. And then Onam, which means strength. Onam is strength. Strength. 3624a. We ele, b'nai, tizvom, we ayah, we ana, hu, ana, asher, matzah, et, ha yamim, ba midbar, berato, et, ha cha marim, li shavon, aviu. Okay, let's go back. And these sons means what? According to a pattern, Zibian. Zibian means what? Zibian means outlaw, wild robber. Wild robber. And Ayah, which means vulture. Vulture. He's born about 1500 BC, somewhere around there. Ayah, which means vulture. Vulture. Vultures roost in trees, and they go out. By the way, vultures, they eat dead things. They eat dead things. They're what garbage disposal of. God made them for garbage disposal. All right, that's what they are. The garbage disposal of the earth. And Anah, which means answering, or to sing, or to chant. And he, Anah, who he had found, this is really what it says, hot springs. In the grasslands, in the plains, Ba Midbar. In the plains, in the wilderness, uninhabited land, but grasslands. Grasslands. I told you last week, we talked about America. Brush and things grow in the flatlands. Out here where I live, out there in Old River area, all the way there to Taft was a lot of mesquite. Lots of mesquite, and there was grass in between the mesquite, but a lot of mesquite and mesquite thorns. If you ever, I used to, when we ran out of firewood, when we couldn't get up in the mountains in the wintertime, when it was so rough up there that we couldn't get into the cut wood. I did a lot of wood cutting when I was young. We'd go out there in the mesquite flats. Now, the Indians used to set all that stuff on fire and burn it out, and it would be nothing but grasslands. Grasslands. And they burned the whole plains. The plains in America were created. The Great Plains were created because it would be nothing but brushlands. But they burned all of those mesquite and bushes off every year, and it killed the fleas and ticks and all that mites, all that stuff that live in there, and make great grasslands out of it. I don't know whether they did this over there in the Middle East or not. It doesn't say anything about it, but the American Indians did here all the way from California to New York. And of course, by 1800, most of the Indians had died, and it had begun to be a wilderness. A wilderness. But it has created wilderness. It wasn't a wilderness before. Grassland. In his watching, in his tending, be roto. Look at that word, roah. Ruah is in there. It means to watch and to tend. The donkeys. The donkeys, the jackasses. These are the jacks, the male donkeys. And the word donkey means to walk carefully. Any of you that's ever ridden a donkey, he has to walk carefully. A donkey, you can't They are the most sure-footed of all animals here in this continent here. They're very sure-footed, very sure-footed. What do they take you down the Grand Canyon on? Mules, which are half donkey and half horse, on mules. I remember one time, about 50 years ago almost, I went to work in the oil fields. I was working in the oil fields. And remember Hilton Drilling Company? Anybody of you remember Hilton? This is a long time ago, Hilton Drilling Company. Old Reese Hilton was my good friend. And I worked for Reese Hilton. And Reese Hilton called me on the telephone and said, Jimmy, he said, I need you to go out. I bought an old green Drebelo rig and I bought it out of a junkyard. It's not safe to work with, but I got a hole for it, and I'm going to put it out here, and I can't find a derrick man at all. Would you go out and work for a week? We'll finish this hole between 1 and 2 weeks, and then I can take it in the yard and rebuild it. He says, nobody will work derrick on it. And I said, well, why won't they work derrick? He said, well, there's no fingers in the derrick at all. And he said the rails around the derrick and monkey board are all tore up and not safe, and the ladder, it's a full view Idaho, would have no bars in it going up like that, just the legs on the side, and everything's wide open. And he said, there's no ladder. You got to climb the legs of the derrick. And he said, it's going to be rough, I know, but he said, I'll make it worth your while. He said, you're my number one man. He said, you've always taken care of me when I needed you. I went out there, and I looked at and it's 12-hour shifts, because I couldn't get anybody to work on this junk rig. I go up there, I look up this derrick, and he said, okay, we're drilling, you know. Get up there on the derrick. Well, I couldn't ride the blocks up, which was illegal, but we did that a lot, but I couldn't jump that far. It was way out there was no place you could jump off. So I climbed up the edge of that thing, and the ladder was hanging there going like this in bits and pieces and all over the place. The rungs were all broke out of it and everything. And this came out of a junk pile. And I finally got up about 10 or 15 minutes climbing up, going like that, zigzagging up this derrick, and I got up to the monkey board, and there are no fingers on the monkey board. That's where they put the pipe in between it. And there's nothing but a bunch of ropes. I had ropes all over me. I had carrying up ropes every place. And between the derrick like this, now this derrick looked like this, and it's wide open. On the sides of it, it's like this with little crosses in here like this. Half of them's broken. Okay? And out here on the monkey board, here's the monkey board, and it's hanging from like this. If you're looking down on the monkey board, there is a platform in the middle of it which you walk on. Okay? And out here are pieces of steel, and this is open right here, and this is open right here, and you take the pipe and put them in here, and you rack it in those slots. There was no slots. Not only that, there's a 2-inch piece of pipe from here, from the derrick, out to here, and nothing to hold on to. How am I going to get out on the monkey board to even get out there? Okay? So being the cowboy I was, I got one of them ropes, and I swung it out there, and I caught the edge of this old busted up rail out here, and I tied the rope from there to there real tight and put a hay hauler's hitch on it and got it good and tight. Went over and put one on the other side. Here I'm going up here doing all this stuff all this time, see. I got out here and I walked sideways on this thing like this. Walk carefully, like donkey. Going like this, going out there, holding on to the rope that I put up there 60 feet off the ground. Out there in mid-nothing. Okay? Walk carefully. That's what donkey means. Well, I became a donkey. I walked carefully. Then I got on this side and I threw another rope and put it over there. So we had a rail from there to there, and I was the first one in the derrick. I know I'm a half-wit and fool for ever doing that. But that was the good old days before OSHA. You can be thankful for OSHA. Because I lived before OSHA, and I might near didn't make it. All right. To walk carefully, donkeys. To walk carefully. Le Chavon. Abu. This wild robber, this word, that new neen on the end of that now, that is a Hittite word, or a Horite word. His father. His father. And now what does the word father mean? It comes from two Hebrew letters. Aleph, that's the head or the first letter. And Beth, house, head of the house. That's what father means, head of the house. Head of the house. You're the head of your house there, Brother Abe? Yes, sir. The head of the house. We ele, 36:25. B'nai, Anah, Dishon. We hola bama. Bat, Anah. And these sons of Anna, Anna means what? That means to sing or to chant or to answer back. Dishon. Dishon means what? Leaping from ring to ring on that ladder in that derrick. Leaping. And Oholabamah, which means tent of the high place, or the tent in her, daughter of Anah. 36:26. We're covering a lot of ground tonight. All it is names, but I hope you're getting a little. I'll tell you a little story here and now and then to keep it quite from being maybe quite so boring. We ele, B'nai, Dishon, Hamdan, that is, and we Ishban, we Yitron, you Keron. And these the sons of Dishon, leaping, Hemdan, which means pleasant. By the way, about 1700 BC now. And then Eshban, and Eshban means man of understanding, a smart or intelligent person, man that could put things together. That's what Eshban means. He must have been a leader of some sort because he was a smart man. They say that my great-great-great-grandfather, Smith Paul, was one of the most brilliant men in the Indian Territory when he went in there. He married Elatika, my great-great-great-grandmother, and he went in there and built that land up tremendously. Of course, back in Mississippi, they had great plantations back there. But he built it up, and you can still see the mansion that he built in 1871, I believe, is when he built that mansion. It's still in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, named after him. A smart man, an intelligent man, a man that was busy in thought. That's what Eshban was. And Ethran. Ethran means excellent. Now we got a smart guy and we've got an excellent guy, 1700 BC. And then Chiron, which means union. Union. 36:27. Ele, B'nai, Etzer, Bilchan, we Zovan. We Akan, that is. Okay? And these sons of Ezer. Ezer means help. And Bilhan, which means tender. Bilhan and Bilhah come from the same root. But on the end of this, we have a neen. On the end of it, which means what? That is a Horite word. All right? Achan, Alvan, Bilhan, Dishdan, Eshban, and Hemdan are all Horite words. All ending in a nu or an an. Okay? Bilhah means soft or tender. Remember Bilhah? That was one of Jacob's wives. Bilhah. And then Zaban. Zaban means causing fear. And then Akan, which means, and this is, again, look at the word, look at that nu on the end of it, that end. That's a Horite word, which means acute or twisted. He was a twisted individual. We had some smart people, and we have some soft people, and we have some people that are causing fear, and some that are twisted. 36:28. I remember when Brother Travis Hubbard was teaching me this in Hebrew class 40-something years ago. And I'd put down these words and tried to get down all these meanings. He said, young man, remember those words. They're very important. That's the history of the world that we're looking at. This is the history of the world, the history of the whole Middle East, and it's still going on today over there. Ele, B'nai, Dishan, Uz, we Aram. And these are sons of Dishan, which means leaping, and then Uz, which means firmness. And by the way, that's about 1700 BC now. We're coming forward. BC, as you go further back in BC, the numbers get higher. As you get closer to Christ's birth, they get smaller. Okay? And then we Aram, which means firmness. And again, it's a Horite word, Horite Indian. 36:29. Ele, Alufe, Hahari, Aluf, Lotan, Aluf, Shoval, Aluf, Zivon, Aluf, Anah. And these princes, Sikhs, sheiks, that is, sheiks of the Horites, the mountaineers, all right, the free-running people, those that run and leap in the mountain. The sheik of Lotan, which means what? Concealed or dark or secret. And then the sheik, Shoval. Shoval means, what does it mean? Wandering. That's right, wandering. All right. Shoval means wandering. It also means to grow. This man probably had long hair, long flowing hair. It's the name of two people in the Bible. It comes from the word Natzer also. All right. A prince, Zibian, which means wild robber, and then prince or sheik, Anah. 36:29. Aluf, Dishon, Aluf, Etzer, Aluf, Dishon, Ele, Alufe, Ha-Hari, Le Alufimhem, Be'aretz, Seir. And then prince or sheik, Dishon, prince, Ezer, Union, and then prince, Dishon, these princes of the Horites, the mountain men, the hillbillies, okay? According to their sheiks or princes or kings in the land of Seir. This is a mountain country, and the mountain of the place of the mountain goats and the hillbillies. 36:31. We ele Hamalakim, Asher, Malaku, Be'eretz, Edom, Lefane, Melech, Livnei, Yisrael. And these the kings, Ha-Malakim, who they had reigned, that is, in the land of Edom, before the face of the reigning of the king to the sons of Israel. Sons of Israel. 36 and verse 32 now. Yimlach, Be Edom, Bela. We had Bela Lugosi, didn't we? Remember that guy, that actor, Bela Lugosi? That's where his name comes from. Ben, Beor, Wishem, Erol, Den Haba. All right. And he kept on reigning in Edom, Bela. Bela means consumption. What is consumption? tuberculosis. Evidently, this guy coughed, and he must have had tuberculosis way back then. Tuberculosis was brought to this country over here. There were all these 150 million Indians in this country. They brought the swine over, and the swine carried tuberculosis. And those Spanish armies had a herd of swine or pigs in front of them like dogs, going out in front of them all over, thousands of them. Pizarro, was that his name down in South America? All right, Pizarro. He had 2,200 hogs that he drove before his armies. Of course, they ate them all along the way. And Hernando de Soto back in Mississippi and Alabama, he had a great herd of all hogs. And he went and lived among the Chickasaws, stayed all winter long back there. The Chickasaws had great plantations and farms and big homes and everything where he went, and they fed and took care of him and very hospitable to him all winter long. Finally, in the springtime, of course, he was very arrogant, you know, the Spanish are arrogant. About springtime, he said, I'm going to use you for a slave, and you're going to be a slave, and you're going to be barriers and carriers and all this kind of stuff. And he's talking to chiefs. And they ran him off and ran and scattered his hogs to 4 directions. That's how all the wild hogs got in the South, that 1539 and 40, a long time ago. And 50% of the Chickasaw people died from the diseases, like tuberculosis and cholera, and the hogs carried all of it. Pox, everything, influenza, all carried by those hogs. And what did the Bible tell these people back at this time? What did you do with the hogs? Leave them alone. Leave it alone. God knew what he's talking about. And he kept on reigning in Edom, Bela, consumption. There was consumption over there. There was disease. And in this area right here, there was a lot of syphilis. Syphilis and other venereal diseases all in the land of Canaan. And when God told his people to go in there, he said, kill every man, woman, and child in that village over here and this village over here, and kill all of their animals. Do not keep an animal alive. Remember what he told Saul? When God told Saul, go in there and kill all of those people and kill all of their animals. And what did Saul do? He took their animals alive and let some of the kings go. They were full of syphilis and venereal disease. And by the way, there was forms of syphilis back then that was just like leprosy. It broke out all over your face. Your noses would rot off, your ears would fall off, and everything else. That was a form of syphilis. And by the way, they treated that with mercury back then. It made them double dead. But I mean, this is what... And it came to America. Consumption. Lots of disease. Son of Beor, the name of his city. Beor. Beor means shepherd. And his city. And his city, the word city means watchtower. A city that had walls and a watchtower. And Din Habah. That probably has the root of judge, which is Dinah or Dan. Okay? Possibly. 36 and verse 33. 36 and verse 33. Wayamoth. Balah. Wayim Lach. Tachata. Wayavan. Ben Zerah. Mib Bat Serah. And kept on being dead. Bela. Probably from consumption. Okay? And diseases. Maybe even syphilis. No telling what all this guy had. He was a sick dude. Okay? About like me, I guess. I've been dying for 30 years. I'm just too tough. Hard to kill. Brother Abe.
I'm sorry, what was the zera means?
Zera means seed or sowing. It means to sprout, seed or sowing. Okay? Seed or sowing or sprout. And then Mibbat-Serah, from Bozrah. Bozrah means fortified or restraint or sheepfold. The name of that place today is El Bazereh. El Bazereh. Bozrah. Bozrah. 36, 34. I about wore you out with these words tonight and all these names, haven't I? I thought we'd try to get through some of them. And are you about ready to quit? You want to go a couple more? Get some of this out of the way? Wyamoth. Yavon. Yabav, that is. Yimlock. Tacha. Shasham. Me'eretz. Hatimneh. And he kept on being dead, Jobab. Jobab means howling, howling. That's like a wolf is howling, or a coyote howls. And he kept on reigning. And he said, Hushon. Hushon means to hurry. It means to haste, to go in haste or hasting. From the land, see that word meh there? That comes from Mem, 577, if you want to write that down. That preposition. From the land of the Temnites. That's the sunburnt, or the sunburnt land, or the land of the south wind, the windy area. All right, the windy area. 36, 35. We'll go just a little bit further. Wyamoth, Husham, Yimlock, Tata, Hadad. That's Hadad Dodge, remember? That's where that name comes from, people. Ben, Bedad, Hamakkeh, Et, Midian, Bishdah, Moab, that is, Moab, Wishem, Erol, Avith. And he kept on being dead, Husham, and kept on reigning instead of him, Hadad, the son of Bedad, the one smiting the Midian and the field of Moab. All right, and the name of his city, Avith. All right, name of his city, Avith. What? Hadad, page 212. What is it? What do you have?
Car dealer.
Car dealer. Hadad, car dealer. Yeah, car dealer. Let's look at it for just a minute. 212. Because I don't remember what it was. Hadad. All right, Hadad means to make a loud noise. To make a loud noise, like a musician. All right. To make a loud noise. Behadad, from Bedad. All right, from the loud noise. What? Bedad. That's 95. Let me look that one up. Bedad. 95. Bedad, father of Edom, which might mean servant, but they don't know. Okay, it's kind of a. It might mean to cause to separate. Separation. All right, maybe separation. Some of these names they're not quite sure about. Separation. All right. Moab means what?
Water from my father.
Water from my father. That's what his daughter said, what Lot's daughter had. When she got pregnant, she said, this is water from my father. This is sperm from my father. Now, that's weird to name a child that, but that's what she did. All right. 36. And I think we will quit there. And we'll go on with more of these names next time. Boy, there's a lot more in chapter 36. Wyamoth, Hadad, Yimlock, Tata, Samlah, Mem Maserakah. And he kept on being dead, Hadad, and he reigned. Instead of him, Samlah from Masrekah. Samlah from Masrekah. And we'll start right on the next word, next verse, next week. 36 and 37. So we came from what today? We started out at 36:11 through 36:36. We covered a lot of ground. And me shaking all the way. Felt like earthquake ground up here. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for enduring those hard seats. I hope you're learning something from this. I mean, when you start giving all these genealogies, it's kind of sort of boring. But when I try to give you a little story now and then and tell you what these names mean, and give you a little history of it so you can write them down. And I tell some of the stories so you can remember what the names mean. Donkey, when you think about donkey, walk carefully. Maybe you'll think about me walking out on that derrick out there and roping that monkey board out there. To walk carefully. Thank you tonight. Please continue to pray for me and my dear wife over there, because she puts up with me and all of my suffering. Brother Eunice, would you mind coming up here and dismissing us in prayer tonight, brother? There wasn't much reason to read the Amplified Bible tonight, because it just wasn't much there except names, what you got. All right. A lot of names.
Our Heavenly Father, we're so thankful that we could meet together and to understand your word better. And we just pray that you will go with us wherever we go and help us to be a witness. Just help each one of us to do your will. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Well, I should say, like old Michael J. Fox said the other day when he got up to announce some kind of Academy Awards or something or other, he got up there and said, "Steady as a rock." And he was shaking all over. I'm steady as a rock because I stand on the rock. I sit on the rock. Jesus Christ, our rock, the rock of our salvation. That is the one. All right. Go out and do something eternal this week. And hopefully I will see you here next Sunday night. I will try to teach the class here Wednesday night, Greek, the Lord willing, and they allow me to. That may be my last Greek class, because the next Wednesday I'm going to be in the hospital down in Irvine. So remember that. All right? And I pray that the Lord will let me teach a few more classes before I croak. At least one thing I know. I know why I'm shaking so bad now. It's the mercury. And the arsenic is down, but the mercury's still up there in deadly level. I should be dead. My doctor called me the other morning, and she was talking to me, and she said, "Well, your numbers are down." But she said, "I don't know how in the world that you're getting out of bed. You ought to be a dead man." She said, "There's no reason in this world that you ought to be still alive." I said, "Well, the Lord is with me. That's why I'm still alive." I said, "He's not finished with me yet, but He could be finished with me any minute. I can tell you that much, because it's rough, people." All right. Go out and do something eternal. God bless you. I hope I'm an inspiration to you, like my teacher, Dr. Martin Van Buren Canada was. He showed up in the class with congestive heart failure, teaching all the time.